The sun is so bright, guys. Like, I don't know if I should actually even be moving from this particular area. Let me see. Does this look better? Okay. Let me try and get this done. It's winter this side, so yeah, it's not fun. Like, I like winter, but I also enjoy doing my live breakdowns and final predictions outside. So because of the weather, yeah, it's not going my way, but I'll try to get through it and give you my thoughts on the upcoming fights. Um, I'm looking forward to actually. I think this fight is not as, or rather, this fight card is not necessarily as bad as people make it out to be. Maybe in the beginning it was, until what do you call her, Macy Barbara, pulled out for whatever reason. Like the fights got added, but I don't like the fact that the UFC is giving us. What do you call it, the female main events, because we all know that majority of them end in decisions, and they are never exciting. um, Anyway, let me stop complaining. I'm just not looking forward. I wish the UFC would have started at the very least with the Lemos and what do you call her? I don't know if it's Jandaroba or something like that. I wish the UFC would have at least started with that. This fight card is a little bit exciting, so to go from this to the next one is not going to be fun. But let me actually get to the breakdowns and stop complaining. The first fight on the card, I don't know if the order will be like this on fight night, but this is how the UFC has presented it. Montel Jackson versus Damon Blackshear. Um, I think I'm going to go, or rather, my subscribers and I went with Montel Jackson. Um, I'm pretty confident that Montel Jackson is going to find a way to get this one done. I saw a couple of people picking Damon Blackshear. Um, I don't know, man. I just feel like Montel Jackson is going to be significantly better almost everywhere. I don't feel like there's anything that he. I mean, on the ground, obviously, Damon Blackshear is the better grappler, obviously, but I don't think it's going to be easy to get Montel Jackson to the ground. Um, I think it's going to be a little bit more trickier than a lot of people think it's going to be. So, in all honesty, I wouldn't be shocked if Montel Jackson finds a way to actually finish this fight. Um, yeah, I think maybe when I do my upsets predictions, I will actually say whether or not I feel confidently if it's a lock or not. But I feel pretty confidently about this one. I think Montel. My subscribers also picked Montel Jackson. On to the next one: Josh Fremd versus Andre Petrosky. Um, Andre Petrosky should win this fight dominantly, but he hasn't been looking great in his last couple of fights. But in apart from all of that, I feel like he's going to be able to dominate virtually everywhere. I think the only way that Josh Fremd, I don't know, might win. I don't even think that's even a possibility if he tries to grapple, of which I still feel like he's going to lose even if he tries to do that. So my subscribers and I went with Andre Petrosky. I honestly don't see Josh Fremd winning this one. So, but I mean, he could guess out. Like some of these fighters are unreliable for a reason. But yeah. So on to the next one: Luana Santos versus Maria Agapova. My subscribers and I went with Luana Santos. Um, I think Maria Agapova is not only not as good in my opinion. I mean, it's women should also, you know, be able to find a finish. I think she should be able to. Shalom Uzbekistan. Hi, man. I'm sorry I can't speak your language. I mean, I see you all the time in the comment section. In any case, Maria Agapova, I heard stories about her, being okay. That's not a reliable source, but one of my subscribers actually mentioned that she's going through personal issues. She doesn't have money. She's living in situations that are disadvantageous to her. So that could affect her in one of two ways. Either we could see a motivated version of Maria Agapova, meaning like she needs this money, she needs the win bonus, in order to pay off whatever it is that she's going through right now. Because I heard she has like financial issues and stuff like that. So we might see a very motivated Maria, or um, I don't know. I don't want to use the word damaged. Okay, no, that's a bad word to actually use. But I don't feel like we're going to see her at her best. That's all I'm saying. And even on her best, I don't feel like she still beats Luana. Um, Women's MMA is unpredictable, but I feel like Luana Santos should actually win this one. Either she should dominate or get a finish. So yeah, my subscribers and I went Charles Johnson. I saw a lot of people being unsure about this pick. My subscribers and I went with Joshua Van. Um, I think Joshua Van should also win this one. I think we are going to get potentially a lot of finishes on this particular card. Based on what I'm seeing here, there's going to be a couple, like a lot of finishes. I'm feeling pretty confidently as well about Joshua Van. I think he should or find a finish. I don't think Charles Johnson will pose any sort of threat, whether it's on the feet or on the ground. Whoever's in the comment section to say my name. Anyway, so yeah, my subscribers and I went with Joshua Van. I feel like in every way possible he wins this fight. I think he can get a finish here, but you never know. But I'm confident that Joshua Van will win this one. On to the next one, Jasmine Jasudavicius versus Fatima Klein. My subscribers went with Jasmine, and I went with Fatima Klein. Um, Here's the thing, right? I think this is going to be a very close fight. This is one of the fights that I feel like will potentially go to a decision. Um, I feel like they're very evenly matched, exceedingly so. I mean, Jasmine is like 35 years old. Um, Fatima is like 2023 or something like that. So when you look at who is most likely going to be a little bit hungrier for success, who has a championship aspirations, who has been um, putting in a lot more time in the gym to actually prove themselves, it's going to be the younger fighter. But at the same time, Jasmine has experience, so that she has that for her, going for her. But if you look at how Fatima fights, man, I feel like Fatima is good on the ground and she's also good on the feet. And I don't know if Jasmine will be good enough to actually put away Fatima in any way. Fatima, I saw that she's ranked in various region like the pound for pound women's rankings in the regional scene. I think she's ranked somewhere in Colorado. I'm not particularly sure, but she's ranked pretty decently in the pound for pound division, the women's division in the in the regional scene. So that says a lot about her skills. Even though I worldwide pound for pound, but she's ranked a little bit lower than Fatima in the regional. And I understand that maybe the regional scene is not as competitive as worldwide. But I think it could go either way. But I'm leaning more towards the younger fighter who will be a little bit more hungry a little bit more determined. But the best thing to do is to just stay away from this one. I honestly don't feel like, I don't know if, yeah, it could go either way, to be honest. My subscribers went with Jasmine. I went with Fatima. I think she's going to win, but it's close, 50-50. On to the next one. Abdul Razak Al Hassan versus Cody Brandage. My subscribers and I went with Al Hassan. I don't feel confidently about this pick because I think I think Cody Brandage might potentially win this fight. When I pick a fighter, I look at a variety of elements, and so far my prediction analysis has not let me down. Even on bad nights, my picks are not that horrible. So I trust my analysis that I created more than my personal opinion, because my personal opinion has not served me well in the past. So I prefer to just follow my analysis to avoid, involving my emotions and logic. Um, so because of that, I picked, uh, what do you call him? Abdul Razak Al Hassan. Right, he has power. I think he's a good striker. But the downside is, like, he's older now. Like, I think he's like 37, which at middleweight is not that bad. But man, on top of that, his takedown defense is not that great. And when you look at the performance of Cody Brandage against Bo Nickel, I know that he got dominated, but he survived a little bit longer than anyone against Bo Nickel, and Bo Nickel is a credentialed wrestler. So for him to be able to survive that long against Bo Nickel says a lot about how decent Cody Brandage is. Ah, and I mean, Abdul is not that good at defending takedowns, but he has the knockout power, and Cody Brandage is not that great, but it's possible that Cody Brandage might have improved after fighting Bo Nickel, because he was preparing for someone who is going to try to finish him in the first round, and for sure he put in a lot of work in order to avoid that happening, and maybe in the process, he got better. But I can't pick someone based on hypotheticals, but a massive shot at winning this one. But I'm not going to pick him, because these are hypotheticals. So far, Cody Brandage has never looked good in a fight. A couple of, like, two of his last wins were basically losses and like, luck. The first one was him claiming that he was hurt because of shots to the back of the head, and I mean it was like illegal shots, but I feel like Cortez is going to be finished. That she shouldn't even be in the cage with Rose. I'm coming to that. I haven't gotten to the main event. But yeah, this one is a tricky one. I think Cody Brandage might actually win this one, but I'm not going to pick him. I don't feel confidently about picking him, especially with Abdul's power, and he has a lot of knockout power. Um, and he looked. I think he fought this Joaquin Butley, but like it was a while ago. I think Abdul has fought like decent fighters, and has looked decent in that octagon. So I don't like the age thing. I don't like the fact that his takedown defense is so bad. So yeah, I'm picking Abdul Razak Al Hassan, but I'm not confident. Best thing to do is just to stay away from this one. My subscribers also picked Al Hassan. On to the next one: Julian Erosa versus Christian Rodriguez. This is another one. I feel pretty confidently that Christian Rodriguez will potentially win this fight. But the problem I have is that Cody for the W, yeah. I mean, he could get the W in this particular fight. So my biggest issue with Christian Rodriguez is that he's moving up, right? So I don't know how he's going to perform up a weight class, but probably he's going to have a little bit more power up a weight class. I think he'll be a little bit more comfortable. He won't be drained. Maybe the him not being able to finish fights at the division that he was fighting in. Probably it was because he was cutting too much. I don't know. He looks small, so I don't know why he was missing weight. But for whatever reason, I feel like he'll be a little. I think he is very durable. His chin will be a little bit more solid. Um, so obviously, my subscribers and I went with Christian Rodriguez. Julian Erosa won this particular fight because it's going to be a really. I think it's going to be competitive, but because it's upper weight class, I mean, Christian Rodriguez might have power that we haven't seen. Even he probably hasn't seen. So we might discover that he can knock people out upper weight class. So and he has derailed a lot of talented prospects. What do you call him? That kid, that prospect. I know you know what I'm talking about, and even the South African guy. I forgot these people's names. I feel so bad, man. These are talented fighters, but he has like decent, like quality wins. And I feel like Rodriguez is focused enough to actually eventually become a champion. I think it's not wise to overlook Erosa in this particular fight, but I think Christian Rodriguez is going to win. But if it was me, I wouldn't touch it. I wouldn't touch this fight. I would just skip it because there are a lot of unknowns here. But yeah, just to recap, my subscribers and I went with Christian Rodriguez. On to the next one, Gabriel Bonfim versus Angelosa. Gabriel Bonfim should actually win this one decisively. My problem is, I mean, Nicholas Dalby, man, is very durable. Especially after seeing him fight Rinat Fakhretdinov. I mean, it's understandable why Gabriel Bonfim lost to Nicholas Dalby. So I don't feel like losing to Dalby is bad at this point because he's hard to finish and he has a lot of cardio, very aggressive. So it makes sense why he actually lost that fight. Angelosa, on the other hand, has a lot of power, but he's a little bit sloppy. He's not um, clean as a fighter. I honestly can't see him be. I mean, if Bonfim somehow gasses out, maybe, but I honestly don't see Bonfim guessing out on this particular one. I think what do you call him? Gabriel Bonfim should actually win this one. My subscribers and I went with Gabriel Bonfim. I think this is going to be a good fight. Um, yeah, on to the next one, Drew Dober versus Gene Silva. Another interesting fight, another great fight on the card. I don't. Someone in the comment section said that why isn't this the co-main event, which is surprising. I don't know if it's this is that's why I was confused when I started this live stream. I'm not sure if this is the actual bout order, especially on fight night. I don't know if Santiago Ponzinibbio versus Muslim Salikov is actually going to be the co-main event. I doubt. I guess we'll just have to wait and see. But back to the fight that I was actually talking about: Drew Dober versus Gene Silva. Gene Silva would be my lock if Drew Dober was not such a threat. Drew Dober has a lot of power. Gene Silva via decision. I don't know, man. Like Gene Silva has been finishing people at a lower weight class. I feel like he's been in camp, so it's not off the couch. Like he fought a few weeks ago, so he's still in shape. He couldn't have gotten out of shape that quickly. I think he should be able to finish Drew Dober. I mean, if Drew Dober struggled against what do you call him, Renato Moicano, with regards to grappling, I think Gene Silva is a little bit more aggressive and a little bit more skilled, in my opinion, than Renato Moicano. So I feel like Gene Silva can actually grapple him and actually submit him on the ground. He, that's a risky move because Gene Silva was getting hit a lot by Charles Jourdain, but maybe that says a lot about how good Charles Jourdain was or is, and less about Gene Silva actually getting hit a lot. Because he was getting touched a little bit in that particular fight, and if he does that against Drew Dober, it's not gonna end very well. But I feel like that's the only reason I don't feel like Gene Silva is a lock. If Drew Dober was not like a knockout artist, then I would say Gene Silva is a lock. But I feel pretty confidently that Gene Silva is going to win this one. I would. I feel a little bit more confidently about Gene Silva winning than Gabriel Bonfim winning and Christian Rodriguez winning. Yeah. I feel a little bit more confidently. Who do you think Max will fight next? I think it's obviously going to be Ilya Tuporia. It's the biggest fight. So yeah, my subscribers and I went with Gene Silva. I feel pretty confidently. The only thing that worries me is Drew Dober's power, but I think he's still going to manage to find a way to get it done. On to the next one: Santiago Ponzinibbio versus Muslim Salikov. This is probably going to be a decision, a close decision. In my opinion, I feel like Muslim Salikov is a little bit better. Not a little bit, significantly better. I think the only thing that's going to be working against Muslim Salikov here is going to be the age factor. But I mean, it's not like Ponzinibbio is a young dude. So like I think there's a three-year age gap, but Muslim Salikov is like 40 years old, and then Ponzinibbio is like 37 years old, if I'm not mistaken. My subscribers went with Santiago Ponzinibbio. I went with Muslim Salikov. I'm not very confident about this pick, but my thing is, in the past where I felt like age would matter, it didn't, right? And I know it's welterweight, but I've seen a couple of fighters, a couple of older fighters. I guess it comes fighter is. I feel like Muslim Salikov is a little bit better defensively on the feed and even offensively. The only advantage that I feel like Ponzinibbio has is striking volume, which for me is not that, or rather, it's not enough in my opinion. Um, but he's old now, so probably that doesn't matter. So probably he might be able to find a finish, but I think Muslim Salikov is like the better fighter here. The problem is age, and both of them have not looked good in their previous fights. So yeah, I'm not very confident about this pick. But yeah, I went with Muslim Salikov. My subscribers went with Santiago Ponzinibbio. I guess we'll just have to wait and see. On to the next one: Rose Namajunas versus Tracy Cortez. My subscribers went with Rose Namajunas. I went with Tracy Cortez. Rose Namajunas has not looked great since I think she left Pet. What do you call him? Her previous trainer, and I think she's now focused on the person that she's seeing. I think it's Pat Berry or something like that. She hasn't looked good since she moved up, man. Like going last, technically, even though I remember picking Ribas, and I expected it to be that close, but it shouldn't have been. Rose is a former champion, and I don't know if Amanda Ribas is going to ever be a champion. And for her to perform like that against her, someone who was dominated by other fighters in that particular division, and Rose Namajunas performed like that. Yeah, man, it's not a look. It's not a good look. Well, bro, I see you different now. Tracy, are you serious? Um, yeah. I mean, there's a lot of people who have picked who have actually. A lot of people were saying I'm crazy for picking Max Holloway against Justin Gaethje. I mean, there's so many picks. There's so many examples that I can make where underdogs actually ended up winning. So I've picked a lot of underdogs, and I stick to my picks. And I guess we'll just have to wait and see. But if I'm correct, um, I think Tracy Cortez is probably going to dominate this fight. I'm not sure how, but if based on what I'm seeing, because I use my analysis. I know a lot of people are picking Rose Namajunas, and obviously it's women's MMA, so I could be wrong. But based on what I saw, it's highly possible that Tracy Cortez might potentially shock a lot of people, right? I think Tracy Cortez might. Tracy has absolutely nothing for Rose. So between, in your opinion, right, between Amanda Hebers and Rosna, what do you call her? Amanda Hebers and Tracy Cortez, who do you think is the better fighter, all round, when it comes to grappling, when it comes to striking? Um, Sven, I don't know how to pronounce your name, but the guy in the comment section who's like upset that I picked Tracy Cortez. I just want your opinion on who's better between Amanda Hebers and Tracy Cortez, both on the feet and on the ground. The moment you start to ask yourself that question, you'll see how differently that fight is going to play out. I feel like Tracy Cortez is better than Amanda Hebers. Um, so for me personally, like I said, I could be wrong, but I feel like Tracy Cortez will potentially dominate this fight. Whether she's going to grapple, whether it's going to be on the feet, if I'm right and if my analysis is as good as I think it is, then Tracy Cortez is going to dominate this fight, and a lot of people are going to be like, "Oh my God, who could have seen this coming?" And then they won't see my live stream because my channel is not big enough now. But there's a high possibility that the Tracy Cortez dominates this fight. Let me actually predict how I think the fight will play out, whether it's going to be a decision or a finish. Montel Jackson versus Damon Blackshear. I think Montel Jackson might be able to finish this one. Um, yeah, I'm leaning more towards a finish. I think Montel Jackson is good enough to actually get it done. I think he can finish Damon Blackshear. I don't know how, but I think he has the ability to actually finish him. Which round do I think this would happen? I don't know, man. I don't want to predict rounds at this point. Josh Fremd versus Andre Petrosky. Yeah, I think Andre Petrosky should actually finish this fight, maybe in the first or second round. Um, I think yeah, like he's good everywhere. Like I think he's going to be better everywhere than Josh Fremd. So I think first or second round is done. Luana Santos versus Maria Akapova. Okay, there are a lot of birds behind me, so I need to be careful. Um, I think Luana. The problem with with women's fights is that I don't know. I don't think. I think this probably might go to a decision, but it's women's MMA, so you can't really expect a finish. A lot of their fights end in decisions, so it's safer to say it probably goes to a decision. Joshua Van versus Charles Johnson. I'm leaning more towards a finish, maybe in the first or second round. I think Joshua Van is going to find a way to finish this one. Um, Jasmine Jasudavicius versus Fatima Klein. Definitely a decision. Probably a split decision. Um, Abdul Razak Al Hassan versus Cody Brandage. This is a little bit tricky because I think Abdul Al Hassan should, if he's going to win this one, it has to be in the first round, right? But if Cody Brandage is going to win this one, which I think it's highly possible, it's going to be probably a decision. I don't think Cody Brandage is going to be able to finish Al Hassan. So it's either going to be Al Hassan in the first round or Cody Brandage by decision. On to the next one: Julian Erosa versus Christian Rodriguez. Oh, damn. Possibly a decision, but I think, yeah, possibly a decision. Christian Rodriguez at the weight class might be able to finish this fight, but I'm not sure. So I don't know at this point. I'm not sure. I'm leaning more towards I'm leaning more towards a decision. Nah, man. Yeah, I think a decision is safer here. Gabriel Bonfim versus Angelosa. This is definitely going to end in a no. But these Bonfim brothers, I saw Ismael Bonfim was a little bit more reserved. I think they will be trying to reserve they are both gassed out in their fights. That's how they lost basically. So I see this fight. I see Gabriel Bonfim being a little bit more reserved, saving up his energy to get to the final round. But Angelosa might come out trying to prove a point and get finished somehow. So it's safer to say maybe a first round finish for someone. Okay, a first round finish for Gabriel Bonfim. I think it's safer because of Angelosa, because I think Angelosa will come out trying to prove a point, and is probably going to get finished. Drew Dober versus Jin Silva. I think this one is going to end in a finish, probably in the first round. Um, yeah, it's going to be a finish. Santiago Ponzinibbio versus Muslim Salikhov. Probably a decision. Rose Namajunas versus Tracy Cortez. Tracy Cortez, does she have power? No, the power advantage is with Rose Namajunas. Oh, Tracy Cortez. I think Tracy Cortez is going to win this fight, but she doesn't finish fights, man. But I feel like she's going to be able to dominate so much so that it is possible. I don't know which round, but it is possible Tracy Cortez finishes Rose Namajunas. If that doesn't happen, I know I'm going to look very stupid. My analysis says Tracy Cortez is not going to just win. My analysis says that Tracy Cortez is going to dominate this fight. So I guess this is me actually putting my analysis on the line and actually saying if if I'm as good as I think I am, then Tracy Cortez should actually dominate. And if she loses, uh, if she loses because of cardio, then I think my analysis can get a break of some sort, right? Because she didn't lose because of skill, she would have lost because of cardio. That's the only acceptable loss that I'm willing to accept. That maybe Tracy Cortez put in too much and then got tired and got finished or lost the. But if somehow Rose manages to win, especially via decision, then I can honestly say I don't think I'm as good as I think I am then. That's all I can say. And if you look at past, I think my channel is one of the best, the most accurate prediction channels on YouTube globally. So I'm putting my reputation on the line here. I think Tracy Cortez is going to dominate this fight. I don't think it's going to be like people think it's going to be. People are saying, well, Rose Namajunas is a former champion. Rose Namajunas went to a decision. It was a close fight against Manon Fiorot. Rose Namajunas this, Rose Nama. For me personally, I think a lot of people are going to be shocked. Um, Tracy Cortez is going to dominate this fight. See you when I say I told you so. Or when I eat my humble pie and there will be people trashing me in the comment section. But I feel pretty confidently about this. Let's meet again